Hi, my name is Dr. Ujjwal Shakya and I'm a physical therapist. Today we're going to talk about shoulder joint and we're going to talk about some of the specific and very simple stretching exercises and some of the strengthening and stabilizing exercises for shoulder joint. Shoulder joint, as you know, is a very mobile joint. That means is we have a lot of degrees of freedom. We call it 3 degrees of freedom. One is first flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, and then again the rotation motion. So since it is a very mobile joint, it lacks a lot of stability. So our muscles and soft tissues have to work very hard to give it the stability of the shoulder joint. So today we're going to talk about, first of all, just the stretching. Stretching is a very important part of exercise. It should be performed before and after the actual exercise that you're going to perform. We call it warm up and cool down. Stretching has shown in research to improve the blood flow to the area, also to improve the tensile loading of the tissues, we call muscles and joints, before we actually put the load during our exercise. So it's very important. Also during the cool down, it has shown that it helps to decrease the lactic acid production through the exercise that you do during your sports. So there are 2 types of stretching. One is very simple static or hold stretching, and the other one is a dynamic or more of an active stretching. Static stretching is performed when you're holding the position for a certain amount of time. Research has shown that if you hold for 30 seconds, that's the best or optimal amount of time to stretch the tissue for that duration. So I'm going to show you some very simple and very specific stretching of your shoulder joints. So the first is you can stretch the posterior part of the shoulder like this. Again, you can hold for 30 seconds. What the common mistake most people do is when they do this, they try to rotate the whole body. So keep your body straight and just cross over your arms, and you should feel the stretch in the back of the shoulder like here. Same thing, you can pull over your back and pull that down. This is more of an inferior capsule stretch. So whatever over here is being stretched out. Same thing, you can hold for 30 seconds, okay? And for more of a posterior, what you can do is you can reach forward and punch forward like this. Again, you can reach and then punch forward. Okay? Those are more of a very generic, very simple static stretching. Okay. Next stretching that you can do is over the door stretch, where, for example, this is your door. You can put your hand right here in the doorway, one leg forward, one leg backward, and just lean forward, and you can feel the stretch more over this area and this area. So you're working kind of like pectoralis stretch, and also the anterior part of the shoulder stretch, which is very good too. Same thing, you can hold for 30 seconds. You can do it 4 or 5 times. Now, dynamic stretching is, other hand, where you don't have to hold for a certain amount of time. You can do more of active exercises, and more specific, very simple way to do is to go through the motion. So flexion, extension, abduction, add the rotational part, swing. And if you want to be more specific, do the more of a dynamic motion according to whatever sport that you're part of. For example, boxing or Muay Thai, just go through like shadow boxing. Start with simple, slow motion, small range of motion. And as you get better, you can go for faster and full range of motion. Okay. Same thing you can do for the kicking too. For jiu-jitsu, same thing. Just go through your motion, and then start with the slow and simple, and then as you get at the blood flows and your muscle gets a little warmed up, joints get a little warmed up, then you can go through the full motion a little bit more faster, and that's a very good way of doing a dynamic stretching, specific to the sport that you are in.